Hi everybody, it's the bearded geographer. I really hope you're well. So I'm just recording a series of walkthrough videos on my school's Paper 1 November mock from this year, 2024 to 2025. Just doing a section at a time, hopefully to keep them on the shorter side. And it's all about walking you through these questions and you being able to listen to a geography teacher, but also an examiner, talk you through how to answer the questions, what to look out for, and basically just help to familiarize you with how we mark them, but also what they look like. These are not official AQA geography questions. This is from our mock series, so a good number of these are modified, but hearing me work through them is just as useful to you because you can then actually hear how a professional, an expert, picks them apart. Okay, so hopefully this is useful for you. I'm going to try and keep this to around 15 minutes, but we'll wait and see. So first, we're going to look at coasts. Right, shorter section, so hopefully this shouldn't take us long. So study figure 13, part of a coastline map for southwest England, and it's basically asking us to give the 4-figure grid reference for Elbury Cove. They love questions like this. First thing you got to do, I say it all the time, is slow. Just slow down. Read it carefully, and if you take your time, you will spot that Elbury Cove is up there. Of course, if you've been revising, you'll know that a cove is found at the seaside, so you would be looking around the coast anyway. And you know the age-old saying, it is along the corridor and it is up the stairs. So for us, Elbury Cove would be 90 and then 90.57. So 90.57, done dusted, we will move on. Okay, next it's asking us, what is the difference between the spot height at 91.454.2 and the spot height on the golf course at 98.56.8? So, first thing we have to do is find those two areas. So, as ever with this referencing, it is the 4th and the 6th number that tells us how many little boxes we have to count across. So, if we have a look, first we have to find 91, which is here. Then the third number is 4. So if we know that the middle is 5, 4 is going to be about there. Okay. So you know what, I'll just make that red. There we go. And then we look at 54, which is over here. And it is 54.2. So it is about there. So our spot height, if we look, is pretty much there. Then we need 98. So 90 is, I'll change this to blue, why not? So 90 is there. 8 will be about there, okay. And 56.8 is up here, so we've got 56, and it is about there. So if we have a look, we can see our spot height is there. So we just need to find the difference between the two, which happens to be 91. Okay, so take your time with these. Usually on the maps, okay, when they're giving you 6 figs, normally, like, they will give you some very clear ones. So for example, if you look in 90.56, there's only one spot height, it's 59. In 91.54, there's only one spot height, it's 150. So usually they will kind of help you out. They won't make it too difficult. Right, they do like these kind of questions. Study figure 14, a photograph taken at 93.154.9 with the photographer facing northeast. What is the name of the headland shown in the photograph? So, what we need to do is find that we need to find that. Okay, so we're going to go up. It's 93.1, 54.9. So 93.1 is about there. And 54.9 is about there. So if you join those two lines, that tells us that our photographer is about there. Okay, and we know that they are facing northeast. So the photographer is facing in that direction. Okay, so we know that now. It's asking for the headland. Well, in geography, headlands are normally known on a map. They're normally known as heads, or they can be known as points. Okay, so if we have a look up here, you can see a few round here. So if I just highlight them, you can see a few round here, such as, oh, hang on, that's gone very wrong. Needed the highlighter. You can see some, for example, like Charleston Point, Berry Head, Sharkham Point, Fishcombe Point, but the one we want, northeast, is that one there, Dirl Head. So the answer would be Dirl Head. There you go, so right there. Okay, this one here, bit of revision will help you out. Embryo, think baby, very, very early baby. So embryo would go there. Mature, obviously, if you're mature, you are old. With dunes, the older ones are further back. Okay, so that's the mature, and then that leaves you the yellow in the middle. Okay, this is where your revision, not just with key terms, but also with images, is so important. It's giving you a lovely picture of a coastal landform, but you have got to figure out what that coastal landform is. It is a wave cut platform. If your revision tells you that, you are halfway there. So it's asking you to explain the formation of the landform in the figure. Anything to do with explain the formation, you would use what's called the process model in our school. So basically you are doing like firstly, secondly, thirdly, and so on. And then all you're doing is describing or explaining how it forms. In terms of using the figure, you don't have to like absolutely go to town on it, but you might sort of say, I can see in figure 16 that there is a wave cut platform. You might see that I can see in figure 16 that the cliff has retreated, which it will do. You might say in figure 16 I can see a wave cut notch at the base of the cliff. You might say in the figure you can see the tide is out. Okay, so there's multiple ways you can use the figure. You might also say that you can see that the cliff rock is built up of layers, which makes it more prone to collapse. Okay, so a few things you could talk about there. Okie dokie, right, I think the last question is coming up. Yes, I believe this is the last one. Yeah, so here we go. So, discuss, that's our command word. So, discuss the costs and benefits, so the goods and bads, of management strategies, hard and or soft, so you don't have to do both. Okay, so it's basically saying to you, you can do hard or you can do soft or you can do both. It's up to you. Used in reducing the impact of coastal processes. Okay, this is a 6 marker. This is not a formation question. It's not asking you how something is made. It's asking you basically how something works. So this is an ECS. Okay, so evidence, comment, stretch times 2, or your school might teach it as a peel times 2. Okay. Discuss for us is basically explain. Like that's what it's saying. It's explain the goods and bads. Okay, so explain the disadvantages and the advantages of management strategies in reducing the impact of coastal processes. For us, that coastal process is erosion. Okay? So at that point then, you've got to figure out what you want to talk about. Pick your most confident. Obviously, that will be for hard engineering. That is going to be things like seawalls, groins, or maybe rock armour. And for soft, this could be beach nourishment, okay, or like dunes, or like dune strengthening, or like dune regeneration. Okay, there you go. I think one last thing I'd say about questions like this is you do not need to be balanced, okay? You don't need to be balanced. So you might really go to town. Oh, that's wrong, actually. I need to do that like that, which would be a green tick. So you do not need to go to town with both of them. You might really get into detail on your seawall, really explaining about how that seawall works in reflecting wave energy with its recurved edge, drastically reducing the impact of processes such as erosion, hydraulic action. But then you might just drop in a little bit of detail about beach nourishment and remark about how beach nourishment, soft engineering, can help to extend the width of the beach, which slows down the waves of the energy, reducing the risk of erosion. So again, you don't have to be fully balanced. But one last top tip, I'm going to zoom in. You can see there, clear as day, it is plural. It does want you to talk about more than one. So whether you talk about seawalls and groins, or whether you talk about rock armour and dune strengthening, it doesn't matter. You have to do more than one. Okay, wonderful. I think that might be me done. So hopefully it has helped you to, this video has helped you to understand a bit of how these questions work. Keep tuning in, keep watching, and I hope you're all good. All right, take care, guys. Thank you.